That'll be a suspension. That'll be a fine. Nyland's going ballistic. He's a freaking madman.
I'm Chris Nyland, and this is the Raw Knuckles Podcast. Well, we all thought that, and anybody who says that they didn't think Florida was going to win this thing, they were up 3-0. If anybody thought Edmonton had a chance of making a comeback here, they're all full of shit. We'll start with that. But what they've done here is truly amazing. And I don't want to take away, Tim, from what the Oilers have done, because they've adjusted and they've really pushed the pace and have taken it to Florida. But Florida, they don't even look close to who they were up until Game 3. And I just don't get what's happened to them. They've lost confidence. I do get it. They don't win one-on-one battles anymore. Edmonton has just taken everything away from them. They've taken their car, their house, their money, their bank accounts, everything. They've just taken it from them. and they haven't done nothing about it.
It's funny because I woke up today and I'm pretty sure this was my predicted. If Edmonton's going to win, they're going to win in 7. But I forgot about the prediction. That's how
right. But now you remember it because you're a genius.
Now I remember it, but that's what you're saying. Like it was like my prediction was forgotten because, I didn't predict like, hey, they're going to come back from 3-0. But yeah, I agree. It's like totally two different teams. At Florida is like a whole different. I mean, they were like bullying the league.
Yeah.
Like they were like so like, but now it's like Bobrovsky's like it's like everything's just, there's like a loophole and everything. I mean, even some of the goals they gave up yesterday, clear 2-on-1s, just, I don't know.
Well, Tim,
it's a whole different team. And
Tim, since
crazy.
The last 3 games, okay, 9 of the 10 goals they've scored have been off the rush. So what's going on with Florida? They're not controlling the offensive zone anymore. First 3 games, they get the puck, they were down low. They'd spend so much time in Edmonton's end controlling the puck, creating opportunities off the boards, from behind the net, off the half wall. And they don't do it anymore. You don't see it. That's their bread and butter.
Yeah.
And
they have like
none of them.
2 shots after like 10 minutes. Yeah, it's bizarre. It's like, they've had 3, I mean, you've been there and you've won a cup, but they've had 3 opportunities. These are their 3 performances to win a Stanley Cup. Oh. And it wasn't even like close. It wasn't even close to who they were the first 3 games. And I don't know. And it looks like it's like the travels, like you could tell, like, when you're losing, like travel sucks. It looks like they're tired. Like it looks like,
Well,
it's crazy.
You can't be happy when you lose, right? And I get that.
Yeah.
But it's almost like they lost that first one. Oh, well, we'll win it at home. They didn't win it at home. And now their assholes get tight. And now you see them after losing game 6 when they showed the bench, like, the last few minutes they pan the bench with the camera.
Yeah.
Everybody, it's like you're at a funeral. They're already dead. And
I know.
I go back to, and listen, Paul Maurice, certainly a great coach. He's coached so many years in the league, over 1,800 games or whatever. He's great with the one-liners. He's really good in press conferences. Media loves him. I'm looking at him. And after they lost game 4, and I remember that first half of the game, they played terrible. And he come out and said how, we were, actually, I don't mind our game 5-on-5. We were good and blah, blah. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I get not kicking your team or not sending a message to him through the media and all that. But boy, he's a coach. I played the game for a few years. You played the game a few years, but they sucked that first half of the game in game 4. And that's where things started to change. And they end up losing that game by a goal, right? And man, it's just incredible. No, sorry. Not by a goal.
Game 4, they got smoked.
They got smoked.
I know you
Game
mean.
5, I meant. They lost. But,
yeah.
But every game they've lost, they've started so bad. And now, here's what I look at. Game 7, I always say it, and I've said it, and I'll say it all the time. Game 7, home team has the pressure, all the pressure in the world. If they get behind, watch out, because the pressure's going to build, the pressure's going to build, the pressure's going to build. And they start looking at the clock, and they're gripping the sticks tight, and the next thing it slips
it's pressure.
away.
I mean, they went from Kachuk, guaranteeing Game 5 to now they can be on the side of something that hasn't happened since before anyone was born.
Right?
And I think like that, it's almost like a, they can't look at it this way, but it's like a win-win for Edmonton. It's like if they lose, it's like, man, you guys still fucking, gave it your all. Whatever, I'm just saying. But like Florida's got all the pressure. And it's funny because they ask Maurice, like, I don't know if you've seen those like live in game, like after like the 10-minute mark, they've interviewed him like 3 times now in the last 3 games, and I feel like if I was him, I'd be like, we're fucking terrible,
Yeah.
And he's just like,
he's
like
always trying to find the positive, which I get.
Yeah.
But
And
I
it's just
wonder
like,
how he is in
getting
the room,
asked this?
right? How is he
I
in
know,
the room? That's
I know.
one thing, talking to the media during the game and trying to send a message. That's great, but don't, like, it's almost like he's lying to us. Oh, we're staying positive.
It's
You
like,
want to say that to your team.
He snaps on the bench.
Yeah.
He snaps on the bench.
Well, you look. All right, let's talk last night, the offside. That's a turning point in that game. Okay, would have made it 2-1. Would it made a big difference? Maybe. We don't know. We'll never know.
It would be 2-1. They would have had a power play.
Yeah.
I mean.
Who knows?
We never know.
Who knows? But it's funny. He gets interviewed after, and they ask him about it. And he said, I would have never made that call. He said, the 30 seconds that Maurice said that I would have had to make that call, I wouldn't have challenged it. And then he said, well, we're going to go to the still frames, bring in the CIA to figure it out. Like, it's almost like he's mad that Knobloch challenged it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you little rat.
Yeah.
Like you little rat.
Like, yeah, it's like.
But you're right. It's like, it's okay. It's a turning point they can talk about. But then like at the first minute into the second period, they give this clear 2-1 up. Then when Henrique scored. Yeah. That was the first minute. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like.
Hello.
I don't know. I mean, it's. Hey, for us fans, it's awesome.
Yeah, but everybody loves the Game 7, and you know what? It's going to be either the biggest choke of all time for a team, or they're going to power through this and find themselves. But I find that difficult to believe at this point, right? It's like I found it difficult to believe when they were up 3-0 that Edmonton doesn't have a chance in hell to come back. Like.
No,
they just didn't.
You're not going to and like Florida, you're right. Like they're not going to just turn it on, and then they're not playing an Edmonton team that's been down. They're like super high right now, right? Like it's not like they were down. We got them while they're down. Let's kick them while we're down. Now it's like you're going to just turn it up and outplay Edmonton. Like I don't know. You never know. It's a Game 7, like you said. You never know, but. The only thing I can think of a little bit is just, it is hard to beat a team 4 times in a row, clearly, but we'll see.
Calling all hockey lovers. Upgrade your podcast experience by becoming an enforcer. Gain access to the greatest hockey doc ever, The Last Gladiators. And don't settle for ordinary. Join the Fight Club over on Patreon today. Listen, they got a great Edmonton's penalty kill. And when you think how they challenged that, I don't think they were worried so much about challenging it because, they're 94% in the playoffs. Penalty kill, they're 19 of 20 they've killed against the Panthers in the series. Tim, games 1-3, the Panthers have outscored the Oilers 11-4. Since the third period of Game 4, or Game 3, the Oilers outscored them 20-5. It's unbelievable. The script just got flipped.
In Game 3, it went to the third period, and the announcers were like, no team has come back from like a 3-goal deficit at all in this playoffs. And then the stat was Florida's 67-0-3 since January of 2023 of blowing a lead in the third period. And it's like, now we're going to Game 7. Like, that's fucking nuts.
Well,
it's not. It's literally nuts.
It's gonna be really something to see this Game 7 Monday night, and just I don't know how this Florida team recovers. You look at Zito; he's like
yeah.
When they show him, poor Bill Zito, he's got to be pulling his hair out, right? And then I see some of the quotes, and you hear the players talk. They are so not sure of themselves now. They're almost they feel, honestly, I think they feel embarrassed, right? One, I saw a quote from Carter Verhaeghe. Now, he's one of the leaders on this team, right? He said, I think we're a confident group. You don't say, I think we're a confident group if you're confident. Like, they're questioning themselves now, I think. And to me, I just think listen, I just don't see it happening, but I think it's gonna. I think Edmonton's gonna go in there because I think the nerves with that group. They think their heads are last year. Don't tell me it hasn't hit their head. Last year,
that's the thing
this
too. Is
happened.
last year they were in the finals.
Yeah, and we lost.
That's the fucked up thing. It's like you guys were here like you guys. This isn't your first time. That's where it's really mind boggling.
Yeah.
To be playing the way they're playing now with the experience. Yeah, no, I'm with you. You don't hear Edmonton. I don't think Edmonton said that once. They're just like, we believe.
Yeah.
We just, like, from Game 4 on, they're just like, we believe. We've lost 3 in a row. We've turned it around after 3 game losses, so we believe. And now here they are, and it's like,
well,
it's yeah.
I can't wait to see this game tonight. It's going to be unbelievable, Tim. It's going to be unbelievable.
What's your prediction? Edmonton?
If anybody can predict anything after seeing what's happened in this series, no. How can you pick against Edmonton? I just think they certainly have all the momentum, and I always go by that game. And listen, I know teams would rather be playing a Game 7 at home than on the road, but the home team, they have all the pressure.
Case, I don't know.
And when you have
you couldn't predict. I couldn't predict that Edmonton was going to win Game 6, 5-1, and McDavid would have no points. I wouldn't have predicted
right?
that.
There you go.
I mean, it's almost like, oh my god,
8 points in the 2 previous games, and he didn't even have a shot on net.
No, I know. It was like he was saving himself for Game 7.
And let's say not for nothing. Last night, Kachuk is -3. Bennett was -4. Their leaders, Verhaeghe, Bennett, Kachuk, they haven't done anything. Reinhardt.
They're not even like a threat.
They haven't.
We said
these last 4. The whole series. I mean, what's Kachuk? What's he got? 1 goal or something in the series? And again, here's the guy that's the leader. He's the leader of the pack. He was, everybody said when he got to Florida, he brought this mindset there, and we've seen it, and it's a great mindset, and it's a great team. They have a great team, the way they play, but right now they've lost all that. It's not even there. How do you recapture that in 1 game? And maybe you can. We'll see, but it doesn't look like it from here that they're going to recapture what they have.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, it's like we talked about this before. Like the hardest part about Florida is like their stars are like hard to play against, and now it's like they're not. Like I said, like it's even like with, like scoring on Bobrovsky, everything. There's like a loophole in everything now. There's no like I don't know. It's just weird to watch, but I don't know. I guess it's down to 1 game.
Yeah, down to one game.
That's it.
And Florida's strength has always been the one-on-one battles. And again, this game of hockey that we love so much, that's all it is. It's a series of one-on-one battles. And who can win more of those battles? Because, you might get 3-on-2s or 2-on-1s. You might get breakaways. And the 2-on-1 isn't a one-on-one battle. But usually a 2-on-1, happens because someone lost a one-on-one battle. So that's all it is. And this team has established themselves as the best team in the league at that. And then it's all gone out the window in the last 3 games. Edmonton has been winning all those battles and just destroying them.
It's weird. It's like, it's not like it's been one. It's like it's not like it was just one game. It's like this has become like their identity.
Yeah.
It's like they're not like tough to play against. They're not, you know what I mean? Like it's crazy that in 1 week in the finals, like their identity has changed, which is, I don't know. It's, you know.
Yeah, it's funny. I saw Knobloch earlier talking about, the coach of the Oilers talking about how does, momentum carry from game to game or series to series. And I think he said, yeah, every game is different. It doesn't, but come on, how can you, this momentum they've carried from that first win to now, it certainly looks like they've carried that momentum, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I was, I mean, they've seemed like they're just getting better. Like, it's weird, right? Like, I was thinking of a Keenan story. The year they won it, I came in the following year, but I guess they went Game 7 in the finals in Russia.
Yeah. Game
6, they were winning. It went to overtime, and it was some fluky goal. Nathan Oystrick scored some fluky goal from the boards. So you think Game 7, right? Like we were talking about. Like you're kind of, and I guess they get to the hotel, and Keenan just like everyone fucking downstairs. And this is like, the night or 2 nights before Game 7, and he just goes, I guess, around the room and just starts roasting
everybody.
This guy, no fucking goals, fucking like just and they won 8-1 the next game or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, maybe that's what fucking Maurice needs to do. I don't know.
Well,
I mean, there's a little like motivation, like guys, we can do. I don't know what to tell. I mean, I don't even know what I would say to the team, right? It's just like,
well, it appears they've lost all confidence. Because coming from Vahegi, I think we're a confident group. I don't think so. Anyway, we're going to see what happens here tonight. I cannot wait for this game, Tim. And, it's going to be awesome.